everybody. This is Christine Bertram, and I am coming to you live from the Hive here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It is August 15th, so that means we are halfway through August already. And I'm here today with you on a Sunday for another session of Let's Just Stamp card class, which is a class that I kind of gear it towards beginners, but everybody's welcome to participate and attend. You never know where you're going to learn some tips and tricks on how to stamp, and everybody starts off somewhere. And when you start off, you're a beginner. So, this is my second class. I was just thinking, where do I want to go from here, you guys? There's always a lot to go over. And this is my second class doing the Let's Just Stamp. So I do the online version, and then Diane Bogenhagen, who is on my team, is doing the in-person version. So if there's anybody in the Fond du Lac or surrounding area that is interested in doing a card class on Tuesday night that wants to make these cards, she's still taking people to sign up. So we have two. So it's a lot smaller class. It'll be more intimate, and you really get a good hands-on experience. And I think you would have a lot of fun if you want to join. And also just know that I do also have card kits left for the online version. So if you are watching this and not local, or local and can't make it on Tuesday and would like a set of card kits mailed to you, I have 5 left. So it's something to think about. It's a fee or a product-based class, meaning that you could order the minimum amount of product to get the class for free. So basically, you put an order in, and as long as it's the minimum amount, then you get the kits for free, and I mail them to you. So it depends on if you're doing a porch pickup option or a mailing option. That determines how much the order needs to be or how much the price is. So I'm looking for myself just to make sure I can get live. Hi Mary Ellen, hi Jeannie, hi Jean. There's Karen Wetstein, long time no see. Hi Lisa from Phillips. So I almost let my phone die. So I do have it plugged in, and it's gonna make it a little bit wonky for me to try to have it up so I can watch. So, all right, we're gonna make it work though. Okay, so let me pull it up. Hi Elizabeth from Texas, and there's Penny. Hi Linda, hi Sherry Martin. So, you guys, what did I do to myself? I scheduled a lot of classes in a short period of time. So Thursday night we had the live card class with the August monthly class. Then we had the live on Friday with the holiday mini catalog and sale-a-bration card class. Yesterday I had 2 classes at the same time. Only 2 had joined me for one class, and then on the other class I had 9. So I ran 2 classes at the same time, the Simply Elegant and the August monthly card class. And then this afternoon at 1, we did the holiday mini catalog live, like in person here in the Hive. So I should say in person in the Hive. And now we're doing Let's Just Stamp, which is featuring the art gallery. And I just realized to myself I had 4 different card classes all in between Saturday and Sunday. And then if you throw in, all 4 card classes ended up within 2 days. I did it. Yep. My mom says, why do you do this to yourself? Because I can. So, hi Diane, hi Krista. So I let my phone die in the interim. Hi Mo. And so now I've got to have it plugged in while I'm watching, and so now I don't know how I'm going to put it in the phone stand, but we're gonna work with it. So yeah. So if anybody's interested in these card kits, just reach out to me. Let me know. Also, go back and watch if you missed the holiday catalog launch party with the sale-a-bration card class. I still have 5 or 6 kits left of that class. They enjoyed them today. They're so much fun, using so much different designer paper that you can get for free with a purchase, and just cool fun folds. 3 of the 4 cards from the holiday catalog launch party and sale-a-bration class from Friday, and what I did today and what I'm doing tomorrow uses that paper, and they're so cool, and the 3 of them are fun folds out of the 4, so very cool. Hi Jody, hi Chris Dudorenki. Congratulations, the wedding is over. Woohoo! So I saw the daddy-daughter pictures, I loved it. Hi Sharon, hi Vicky, hi Kathy back. So what are we going to do today? I contemplated this in my head for the last few days of how do I want to do this beginners class, because this is a class geared towards beginners, but it is open to everybody, and the cards that Diane and I designed are just, they're beginners because they're limited on supplies. Like all the cards that we create for this Let's Just Stamp class are never going to use a stamp and cut and emboss machine, meaning they're never going to have dies and they're never going to have embossing, because when you're just starting out with stamping, you don't necessarily have all those tools to make cards with dies, and it's a little bit more of an investment. So we try to design some really, really pretty cards with layers and a little ribbon and some embellishments, and then just show you that by adding some layers and different designer paper, you can make some really pretty cards. Hi Sandy, hi Ann. Thanks so much everybody for sharing. I know that as you comment in here, or as you share, you put that you shared it. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. So the thing that I did for my first Let's Just Stamp class last month is I spent about an hour going through with a fine-tooth comb talking about everything and anything that I could possibly think of for a beginner that's just starting out. And I asked, what are the 5 different things that you need for stamping? Like, there's a lot of things that you think you need for stamping, but it really boils down to 5 things that you need, which are ink, stamps, paper, adhesives, and cutting tools. Those are the 5 categories. And beyond that, like if it doesn't fall into that category or those categories, you really can live without it if you really just want to make some cards. And so I thought of myself, so I'm watching Ellen and I'm not freezing. So hi Kathy Strange. I'm watching along and I'm not freezing. Hi Roxanne Kilburn. So we'll have to see. I don't know if anybody else is freezing, but if you guys could chime in and tell us if you're freezing or not, then that would be awesome. But I'm not, and that's usually if I see mine freezing, then I know we're having issues. So I contemplated in my head, what do we want to do? I didn't know if I should spend another hour going over all the same things that I talked about, or if I should talk a little bit and then get into the stamping. Hi, Patty Stebbins. And I thought to myself, why reinvent the wheel? I'm going to show so what I've decided at the beginning of every Let's Just Stamp, we're going to talk a little bit about stamping and what you need. And as I make the cards, I'm really going to be more detailed about talking about inks and stamps and the cutting tools. And I thought throughout the making of the cards, we'll talk about that stuff. And then I'm going to refer everybody at the beginning to the video that I did in July. I don't remember the exact date, but we'll pull it up. And I'm going to flip my camera down and I'm going to show you guys. So if you're new to me or you didn't get to see the Let's Just Stamp, I accidentally videotaped it or taped it into my private, like my Christine Bertram personal page. Oops. Completely didn't change it after Kelly came in and did a Technique Thursday video. So you can find this video in my personal page as well as in the Cards by Christine Facebook page. So it's out there. So what I would do is, instead of me doing another video, I'm going to refer you guys and show you how to find this video. And you can always go back to this video at any point, as long as Facebook still allows us to use videos and keep our stuff housed in Facebook. You'll be able to go get this video. And how I want to search for it is, you could either search by Let's Just Stamp, or the name of the stamp set that I featured for that class was Blossoms in Bloom. And I'm going to tell you, you could search for either one. Right now, if you search for Let's Just Stamp, you'll just find this video and that video. And then going forward, like as I get more of the Let's Just Stamp videos, you're gonna have to remember which one it is. So this is where I'd always remember, it's Blossoms in Bloom, which was my very first class. And so what I'm gonna do is walk you through, guys, how to find that video, because once you know how to find that video, you can always watch that hour-long segment about the intricacies and how to stamp and what you need, and yeah, lots of stuff. So, oh, Sherry said it's fine. Okay, hi Jane, hi Cam, who's here? Jody Storman, hi Jody. Donna's here from Louisiana. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm gonna flip down, guys. See, I'm watching with you and I can see that I'm not frozen, which is always good. And I had somebody just call me and leave a voicemail. Okay, so you guys, when you're in Facebook, what you do, so if you're starting from scratch and you are in your home screen, or if you can get to your the Facebook with the blue, so you go to Facebook, and at the top of your Facebook, there's a magnifying glass, just like I use for Mystery Night. Okay, so what you're gonna do is search for my page, and I search for my page a lot. So for me, it's always at my recent top of my screen. If you don't search for me a lot, all you have to do is type in cards by, and then sometimes it'll auto-populate, and you go to Cards by Christine. And this is good for you guys in case you're just starting out and you're new to my page. You can find everything that I've done in the past in my Cards by Christine page. And what you do is on my phone, it's a lot smaller screen. If you have your tablet, it's bigger. If you have your computer, it's even bigger. But you might not see it because you have to know that this scrolls to the left and to the right. You might not realize that it scrolls, and you might not know that there's ever videos in here that you can click on. So when you click on videos, it pulls up all the videos. Like right now, this one's live. You can watch me live, and then it does them in chronological order. So it goes all the way to like March of 2019 when I started doing lives. Okay, so that's how you can find past videos, just by like, oh, let's see if, like, I haven't seen this video, let's do that one. But there's a magnifying glass at the top within Cards by Christine that you can search my page, Cards by Christine. So if you're looking for the video on the Let's Just Stamp Blossoms in Bloom, you could type blossoms in, maybe just even blossoms. And when you search blossoms, it says right here, July 25th, Let's Just Stamp card class featuring blossoms in bloom. And you could watch this video. It was 2 hours and 30 minutes, I believe. So that first hour is me talking about stamping and all the nuts and bolts. And so you could also search by let's and see what comes up. So the one that's, that's not going to do you so well, guys. So I always say let's make. So Let's Just Stamp is really what you guys want to search for. Just saying. Okay, so Let's Just Stamp. Now you can say featuring art gallery, and then right here, the blossoms in bloom. Okay, so I didn't want to take another hour to go through absolutely everything that I went through in the first video, because it's there already for you guys to access at any point. So the class started off because I do a lot of cards in my classes that are more casual to avid crafters. And Tyler said to me, you should do a class geared towards beginners, because when you first start out stamping, you don't always know what inks to use or what papers to use or what adhesives to use or what tools to use for cutting. There's so much that goes into it. And so I want to teach you guys how to stamp and how to be happy with cards that you create, and just knowing that your cards are not always going to be perfect. And if you want perfect, you go to Hallmark and you buy Hallmark, but then it's not homemade from the heart so much. So just know I challenge you guys to always go to that first video, and you can reach out to me. When I put my screen down, you'll see my email address, you'll see my phone number, and I think most people can attest that if they ask me questions, I answer them. Maybe not within an hour or a day, but I do get back to people as I think, relatively fast. I mean, most of us want instant gratification because that's how we're ingrained these days, but I do have a turnaround time that's pretty good, I think. So, so Patty said, can you tell me how much spin and blind marker cost for a hold set? I don't know what that means, Patty. A spin and blind marker cost for a hold set. I don't even know what a spin and a blind marker, what you're referring to, and I don't know what a hold set is. Maybe somebody that is listening and watching and reading that comment as well could help me answer that question, because I don't know what a spin and blind marker is. I know what a spinner card is. We just did those on Thursday night. Oh, Lisa got her card. Awesome. So much happiness. Yay, you got happy mail. So yeah, I put those in the mail, I think on Friday. So that was awesome. That went really quick. Maybe I put it in the mail earlier. So hi, Patricia Settle from Indiana. So yes, I'm not sure, Patty. Maybe send me a picture. You guys, sometimes when you ask me questions, I don't know what you're always referring to. So pictures are always helpful as well. So, okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to set that phone off to that. You guys are going to see me looking more to the right tonight instead of the left, because I don't have my phone. I might have my phone plugged in. So, okay. So we talked a little bit about you need 5 different things, and after that, it's kind of like you can use whatever you want in stamping. You could add embellishments, you can add ribbon, and those are not requirements. But when I was working with Diane, what we try to do for this class is we try to pick a stamp set that has sentiments in it, so that if you are doing this class with me and you're just beginning or just starting out, that you only need one stamp set to make these cards, and then adding in a few ink pads and coming away with some really pretty cards. So without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started working on the first card with you guys. But I want to do roll call. I almost forgot to do roll call. So I'd like to say hi to those people that are doing class with me today, or maybe catching the replay. So Deanna Estelle, Brenda Wood, Debbie Schultz, Nancy Stormer, Carolee Crabb, Ellen Brover, Leslie McMinn, Barb Barkow, Judy Kruger, Jeannie Parker, and Sandy Wicklander. So we have a smaller crew today, just 11, and 2 of you placed orders to get the class for free. So I will do a door prize drawing for those 2 gals, and one of you will win a prize. So we'll do that at the end of class. So Patty said, your spin and blend, your stamp markers, my spelling not good. Okay, your spin and blend. I think you're talking about my spinner cards and the stamp and blends that we used for class. Over a whole set. Oh my gosh. I just reread it thinking, okay, so you guys, texting is crazy. If one word gets spelled wrong, you think, what does that mean? So Patty's asking, how much are the marker costs for the whole set, for the blender set, I think. So for the blends, Stampin' Up! Sells markers that, and Patty was watching class on Thursday night, and we made a card that looks like this, and we used the Stampin' Blend markers to color these things, so the scale and the cupcakes. So how it works is Stampin' Up! Has the blends, and they're a combo pack. And thanks, Anne, for writing Stampin' Blends. I get it now. So Stampin' Up! Sells their alcohol markers in a pair. So you get a dark and a light, and that's how you get this two-tone look of a little bit darker along the edge and then lighter. And so you can color lighter and darker to do shading. And so the cost is $9 for a set. So $4.50 a marker. You can only buy them as a pair, and you get a dark and a light. And there isn't a whole package price. I couldn't tell you how many they have. I think they might have 40 sets of combination pairs, and you can buy them all as like individual sets. So whatever 40 times 9 would be the entire set. So hi Trudy, hi Ethel. So I hope that answers your question. Good. Hi Judy Bobo, stopping in to say hi. Okay, so what I want to show you guys is we're going to work on these 3 cards today. And you can see that by adding some extra layers. Oh, you're very welcome, Patty. So you guys, one of the things I always say about me answering questions is if you catch me live and you can write your comments in while I'm live, I will see your comments because I have my eyes, I'm like a hawk watching your comments come through. And it is so much easier for me to answer your questions while I'm live watching this because I'm watching as I'm live. I'm not good. I have a full-time job and I do a lot of card classes in a month, and I'll be honest with you, I don't go back and watch for comments after I'm done being live. So I always tell you guys, if you're watching this during the replay, don't ask questions in the comments during a replay. Email me, Facebook message me, text me, call me. If you have questions, the only way you're going to get them answered after you're watching the live, and it's specific to the live, is if you reach out to me, not through commenting in the video. I hope that makes sense. Unless you tag me in the comment, and then again, sometimes I don't even see notifications all the time come through my phone. Facebook chooses what we see. So hi Shannon Kemp. Patricia, I'm not sure. Somebody, Ellen said that she was having problems. It might be the internet. I'm watching right along with me, and I'm not freezing. So, and now nobody else besides Ellen was saying that, Patricia. So, maybe close all out completely, restart your phone, and then come back in. Maybe it needs a better reconnection for the internet. So, okay. All right. I hope that answers your questions about asking me questions, guys. Okay. So these are the 3 cards we're going to make. when we worked on these cards, we wanted to try to use as much from the stamp set as possible. So the stamp set name is Art Gallery. And we used, I think, maybe all of them, except for maybe that one. And we didn't use all the sentiments, but this stamp set is an awesome choice because you have all these different sentiments that you can use. And it's so much fun to put the little sentiments and add them to the front of the cards. And we tried to have a focal color, which is mint. So mint got put into every one of these cards. And just by adding some designer paper, well, we didn't even use designer paper on that one, but we used some here and we used some here. So which one do we want to start with? Maybe we'll start with the raspberry card. So what we're going to do is when you get your stamp sets so Stampin' Up! Sells them as sets. And they come in these cases that are DVD cases. And they are either photopolymer, which is a clear kind of see-through stamp. These are pinkish because my inks have stained them. And they also have red rubber stamps. And so there's just two different types of those stamps. They used to sell wood-mounted stamps, and they don't do so much anymore. This stamp set actually has a complimentary set of dies. So if you feel inclined that you have a die cutting machine, you could get the corresponding dies that go with, and that would cut out your images. But what we did with designing these cards is we tried to stamp them on rectangles so that you wouldn't have to do any fussy cutting or die cutting. And we did not do any embossing. So just wanted to let you guys know there is an optional die set that goes with it. Okay. The other thing too is you're first getting started with stamping, you might not have a collection of blocks. So this came up on the live on Thursday night too, because I think Linda Hodge said she has like 4 blocks, and that's okay. When you start out, you're not going to have a ton of blocks, but just know when you get a stamp set that comes photopolymer or red rubber, you're going to need some blocks, because how it works is you take your stamp out of the case and you put it on the block. And you hold on to the block for stamping. And once you're done, you would clean it and you take your stamp off and you put it right back in here. And then if you only have 2 blocks, you're gonna have to keep exchanging your blocks. So that's why it's good to have an assortment of blocks. Now, we didn't put blocks as a necessity with stamping because I think in the past they used to be wood mounted. So just know like blocks kind of go hand in hand with having stamps. But I pulled out a few of my D blocks. So each block is for Stampin' Up. They are lettered. And that one, I know you can't see it, but it's D. And so D block is that size. So I'm going to pull out the 2 flowery parts, and I'm going to pull out the leaf, and we're going to pull out this flowery thing here. Oh, and that's what we'll do first actually. So we'll put the leaf over there. So because I had pulled out 3 blocks, if I would have pulled out one more, I could have put this one on a block, but I didn't, and that's okay. And then on here, I think I'm going to use thank you, because these cards are always given away to people who comment and share my video so that I can send thank you cards out to you guys after the fact. So what I have on this one is Rich Razzleberry, and we stamped the flower on the inside, and then we have it twice on the outside here. So let's grab the card kit. So for those of you that have the card kits from me, I think that there's 11 of you guys. When you open up your kit, just be aware that every one of these cards uses pearls. So there's pearls on every card. And what I did is from the strip of pearls, so pearls come on a sheet like this, I cut everybody a strip. So one of your card kits has all of the pearls that you're going to need for class. So your base on this one starts out at 8.5 by 5.5, and I score them for you at 4.25. So paper starts off at 8.5 by 11, or sometimes 12 by 12, and you have to get it to be the size that you want it to be. And thanks for sharing, Janice. And a normal A2 card size is 8.5 by 5.5 folded in half, which makes it 5.5. I don't know if I said that right. 8.5 by 11, and then no, 5.5 by 8.5, and then when you fold it in half, it makes it 4.25 by 5.5. So that's your normal A2 card size. You could make a 5 by 7 card. You could make a note card that's 3.5 by 5. You can make a square card. You can make a circle card. There's so many different ways, but just know that you have to start with some sort of paper and you have to cut it. And there's different types of cutters that you can use. There's guillotine cutters. Our Stampin' Up! One is like on a track that you just cut up and down. There's also a scoring tool on there. So what do you have for paper? You have a 4 by 5 1/4, and that is a traditional size mat. So I have this from Sandy Wicklander. She sent this in the mail to me. This is just a guide on how you can do proportional matting for a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card. So this one's 5 1/4 by 4. So that is a standard size that you can use, and that's going to be our inside. And then my mint is another standard size. It's 5 by 3 3/4, and that's going to go on your outside. And then the white is, I go in 16ths now though, so 3 9/16 by 4 13/16. So that's going to be your mat for the top. And then you guys also in your kit, you have a razzleberry piece that's 4 by 1, and then you have a 1/2 inch strip of paper that is some random length, and just know that you're going to cut it down to be the size that you want it to be. And then you also have a piece of this it's mint velour or velvet. It's soft and fuzzy, and you can pet it. It's soft. And that's what is down here on the bottom. So you have a little piece of that. So let's get to our stamping though. So you've got that, all your white pieces are what you need to bring out for the stamping. And let's move you over there. And now with photopolymer stamps they don't have foam, you need to pull out some sort of a foam mat to have underneath. It helps to provide extra cushion in case you have any unevenness in your workspace or your table. Like my countertop here has a little bit of bumbly to it, so I don't want to risk my image not stamping good because of that. So whenever you're using photopolymer, pull out a piercing mat or a mouse pad, even like a pad of paper could work, something that provides extra cushion. And what you're gonna do, what kind of guillotine cutter is yours? I got one at Office Max and the letters were black and like the base, so I couldn't see them. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so I do have a disclaimer. Brenda's asked me a question. I'm gonna answer that question, but it's not a Stampin' Up! Cutter. So I use maybe 99.9% of what I use is always gonna be Stampin' Up! My cutter, and it's because Stampin' Up! Does not make and sell a guillotine cutter. I use a guillotine cutter, plus I have an industrial strength paper cutter that's up in my room that I can cut like that much paper at one time. So Brenda, it's a Fiskars guillotine cutter that it cuts up to 12 by 12. Hi Kate, popping in for inspiration, I love it. So it is a Fiskars 12 by 12 guillotine cutter. The reason I like to use a guillotine cutter is because it just makes a clean, crisp edge. Stampin' Up!, if I had to guess, it was before I really got big into so I became a demonstrator in 2013, which was 7 years ago, I don't know, something like that. It was maybe even 5 years before that. They had a guillotine cutter, and they don't anymore. So I don't feel bad saying that I use a Fiskars guillotine cutter because when I cut paper, I just want it to be always crisp and clean. I never have to change the blade, and I hate having to change blades because they go dull. So if you're not doing a lot of cutting, the Stampin' Up! One is more than perfectly fine. I'll show you guys what it looks like here. It does 12 by actually 17. It's a really big length, and then it's 12 inches down here. It has a scoring tool here, and it has a cutting tool or blade here. So this lifts up, and so that's what Stampin' Up! Offers. And then we were talking about, this is a little Stampin' Up! Guillotine that I love to use when I'm using small pieces of paper. And then just so you guys can, I'm going to show you because I'm transparent. This is my big Fiskars cutter. It's a guillotine that the arm comes up, and it hurts if you cut your finger. So it does 12 by 12. And so if Stampin' Up!, I always say, if Stampin' Up! Came up with a cutter like that, I would buy it and promote the heck out of it because it says Stampin' Up! On it. And if it's a guillotine, I always feel like guillotine cutters just cut so much more smoothly than those little track blade things. So I've had a guillotine Fiskars paper cutter, I would have to say since 2004. That's all I've used really for my massive cutting. So hi Holly, hi Susie from Illinois. Okay, so we're gonna stamp this one flower stamp, which is part of this set right here. And you would think maybe that you'd wanna see the leaves and the foliage part in green, but we decided not to. We decided to stamp everything in the raspberry. So when you get the stamps from, excuse me, from Stampin' Up, they're water-based and they're foam mats. Oh, perfect. Penny's got that same cutter. Perfect. So the Stampin' Up ink pads are foam. They're not fabric. The Memento one is fabric, but that is outsourced like through Memento. The Stampin' Up branded stamp pads are all foam based and they're very inky dinky do. Okay, yes, I would highly recommend that for Fisker, that Fisker's guillotine cutter for any kind of people who do lots more cutting than making a card or two a month. You might want that, like a guillotine cutter. So when you ink up, raining here in Rosenberg, Texas. Oh, okay. We had rain last weekend, Brenda. So when I ink up, you don't have to put a lot of pressure on this foam mat. That is one thing that I find beginners doing a lot, is pushing the block and the stamp into their ink very hard. These aren't ink pads that you used to stamp with when you were younger, like in school. Those fabric pads that you had, you always had to grind the stamp in them to get ink. These are just, I'm setting this on here and that's all you need to do for ink. Just setting it straight down, pushing like just a little pressure, and you're gonna be full of ink. So watch how much full of ink I mean. So I'm gonna put this stamp positioned kind of diagonally from left down to right. Because my piercing mat is gray against my white, here is such a trick, you guys. Hi, Feline. Thanks for sharing. When I am stamping white, I do not put white underneath me because you can't see the outline so well. So whenever you're stamping white, put a different colored paper behind. And so you guys, this is called marinating. You're letting the ink transfer to the paper. Don't be afraid to stamp and let it sit there for a second. You will get a nice, solid image. Hi, Randy. So again, you're gonna go back to your ink. You're gonna get a little bit of ink on there, and then I'm going diagonally left to right again, or I should say now it's, you know, they meet in the middle. You don't have to worry about them where they hit each other there, because that's gonna be underneath our little band here. So again, let it sit on there for a second. I find sometimes I watch people in class and they just lightly get a little ink and then they lightly tap and then they're concerned, well, why didn't my image stamp so good? Don't be afraid to let this stamp sit on your paper. I can show you an example. So flip it over and you're just gonna get a little ink and you're gonna go like that. You're not gonna be happy when it looks like that because you went fast and you went fast and you didn't let that ink sit on the paper to give it a nice image, okay? So on the inside, so as you're stamping the outside with whatever focal image you have, it would be nice to stamp the inside, right? I always like to have people stamp the insides, and I'm not worrying about that this is white and white because I can see it, okay? My suggestion for having a different color bottom is for those people that have a hard time seeing when you're stamping on white. So you're inking up, and I can see the edge of my paper through my block, which is awesome. And on this case, I stamped off a little bit, like the edge, and that's quite all right if you like that. So, hi Linda. Thanks so much. I'm so glad you like it. Oh, Patty said that she likes my cutters, like in the small one and the large ones. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, hi Carolee Crab checking in. Hi Gwen. Okay, so marinating, guys. We're cooking here. All right, Ellen, we'll see you later. Yes, catch the replay, absolutely. If you have any questions, Ellen, about the cards, don't hesitate to reach out. So that's what I've got on the bottom. Okay, so I think that's it for Rich Razzleberry. Now, if you are a person that likes to stamp your envelopes, that is something I don't generally show you guys in class, but I should. I don't have any envelopes right near handy, but you know what I should start doing is stamping the envelopes with you guys. Because what I would do is I would put this right onto my envelope, either on the front or the back. Hi, Denise, so that you guys can see what it's all about. Because it's so fun getting an envelope in the mail and having it stamped and then opening it up and seeing the outside and it matches. And then you open it up and it matches. It's so cool. Okay, so we're going to stamp our happy birthday. Oh, we're going to do a thank you, actually. So we're gonna grab this little strip. You guys, we weren't done with our Rich Razzleberry, So grab your thank you. Now, when you're stamping on a block, okay, the block size matters too. So you can see I have a smaller stamp, so I'm using a smaller block. If I would put that thank you on this really big block, you would get ink all over just because the amount of pressure you're putting on the block, it'll end up putting ink everywhere. So one of the things that I try to teach people is you always, when you're using your stamp pad, when you open it, put it so it's flat, just like this. I see in class, I watch it, people will leave the ink pad like that open, and then they try to ink, and this rocks back and forth, and they get a hot little mess going on. So just shut the ink pad. That really, really helps make a difference. So now you've got a flat surface that you're working with. You can gently tap, and you guys, if you look in here, you can see the ink transfer. I don't know if you can see it in the video. My stamp is pretty pink already, but you can generally see the ink transfer to the stamp. No makes envelopes or card insides. You don't. Oh, so one thing when in class, people either do it or they don't. People either decorate their envelopes or they don't, because some people don't keep their cards with their envelopes, and then they are always looking for the envelope that matches. So they stopped decorating their envelopes because they keep their cards over here and they keep their envelopes over here. But there are, I don't know, I'd say 30% of people, maybe even 50 in my classes, stamp their envelopes and they keep their card to go with the envelope. So super, super cool getting a decorated envelope. So that's it for the rich raspberry, I think now. So when it comes to cleaning your stamps, we have something called a chamois. It's like what you use to wash your car, and you get it extra. You can buy a case to put your chamois in, or you can keep it in a Ziploc bag. But what I generally will do is I will stamp off, and that was pretty stamped off, and then I will go and pick up my chamois with my hand, and I will clean my stamps. It's always good practice to clean your stamps right away so that you can put them away clean and not dirty. So now, and I always stamp off as much as I can to keep that ink out of there. Okay, so now that we have that done, let's go ahead and start putting our card together. So adhesives are always your choice. There's different, thanks for sharing, Kay. Hi, Lisa Nealon. Melanie Foy was in class today. So she had so much fun stamping with you last weekend. So when it comes to adhesives, yeah, Lisa, I bet your mail lady loves decorated envelopes. They love seeing that fun stuff. So one of the things that I generally use for adhering cards together is the liquid glue. I'm trying to get my phone to stay standing up. There. So liquid glue, I have converted so many people from tape runner to liquid glue. The latest one that told me it was Sandy Wicklander because she had to make a lot of swap cards. And what is awesome about liquid glue is you've got your glue back there. And now let's say you get it crooked like that. You can take it and you can wiggle it around until you get it just straight. Where when you use something like a tape runner, when you use tape runner, I have a hard time with tape runner because I just, it gets all goopy on me. Like you guys, you don't see me use tape runner very, very much, but this, I'm doing it just to show you. So it's tape runner. It's called Stamp and Seal is what we sell through Stampin' Up. It's very sticky. And the thing is that hi Arliss, good, yes, stamping is a great thing to do this afternoon. Now, the thing is with this, if you don't get it straight, like right now I'm eyeballing that corner, and this corner, and I'm assuming that if I get those three corners, then my last corner should be good. But if I put this down and it's crooked, I can't wiggle it around. I have to pull it up, and then it's like bending your paper and it's making it so it's not fun. Tape runner is not fun. Sorry, that's personally how I feel. So Ann Miller turned to liquid glue too. Awesome. Yeah, so liquid glue, you've got the wiggle room. You've got between 5 and 10 seconds to wiggle. But you guys, after your 10 seconds are done, you can't wiggle anymore. So, all right, so now we've got those two pieces together. What I'm going to do is now use a different type of adhesive for putting my mint layer down. I love dimensionals because it pops up a card. Yeah, liquid glue saves time and money. Win-win. You got it, girl. Liquid glue is $4, and I bet you, I don't quote me, but I bet you could get between 50 and 100 cards out of that one bottle of liquid glue. And then, and then when it's almost done, you heat it up between your legs while you're sitting down, and that warmth will make the glue come out more. Like you'll get more glue, like 20 more cards, I bet. That's the joke, guys. Okay, so dimensionals are like something that pops your card up. So this one too, you've got to kind of hover and get two. So I'm getting my top corners, and then I'm going to eye up my bottom corners. And once I've got it where I think it's straight, okay, now you still have a little wiggle room to pull that off. But once you have it where you want it, press it down. Then it shouldn't pop up, okay? So now we're going to use liquid glue again on this rich raspberry piece, just some lines back and forth, and then that's going to go in the middle of the card. It does hang over the mint slightly, just to add some extra edges over there. Oh, Lisa said she was making wedding cards today that matched their invites. I love it when you do that. That's, you guys, so that is a super cool thing to do. When you get invited to a wedding, making your wedding cards to match their invite. That makes it super special. So now another adhesive that you can use for putting your cards together is something called tear and tape. It's very sticky double-sided tape that you can use as single-sided tape if you leave this waxy paper on it. So if you take that paper off, though, it provides the double-sided tape. Now, I'm going to put the ribbon down. So I did it just right in the middle here, and I'm going to put my ribbon so that it's just about 1/8 of an inch. So you can see there's a little bit of raspberry and more on the top. So I'm going to get that put down nice. And then for my thank you, I'm going to use my paper. So when it comes to scissors, guys, I have paper, glue, and ribbon. I know when you're starting off, you just get one scissors. But once you need another scissors, you can graduate one of those to down to glue and get a new ribbon and scissors. So she's got, so Patty's got 5 of them. Oh, Forever Fern is perfect, Lisa, for a wedding card. Definitely agree. So all you're doing is taking a paper snips, and you're going to trim your ends of your sentiment here, like that. And in this case, because the thank you was a little shorter, you're going to see more of this pretty green ribbon, where congratulations was a little longer. So how I adhered this thank you, though, on the edge of your, so that was, I used this for paper. Now I'm going to use my glue scissors. Let's see if I got that in the right hole there. I got my scissors there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, you have this edge of your dimensionals. Don't throw it away. What you can use is cut the strips here so that you can cut skinny strips if you need them. And that's what I'm going to do for the thank you. Because you have ribbon down here, which adds a little bit of thickness, I only want to put this right along the top of my sentiment strip. So take off that little paper. I want to make sure that that's the top. That's going to go near the top here. If it's hanging over a little bit, just cut it off. And then you're wondering, what am I going to do on the bottom? So to get the bottom to adhere, I'm just going to use some tear and tape. Tear and tape now is a little bit, it's thin, but that velvet ribbon is thick enough that it kind of makes up some of that dimensional height. If I would have put dimensionals along the whole thing, it would have been more crooked. So I'm trying to make it so it's not crooked. And there's this tool that you can get when you're stamping called a take your pick tool. I trimmed my fingernails, guys. 2 of them broke. So then it was time to just trim them all, right? That's how it goes. So now I gotta pull out the take your pick tool. You guys, I went to hang out with my girlfriend and her boyfriend and another girlfriend yesterday. And she's been watching my videos, and she was trying to imitate me. I did a tip Tuesday on the take your pick tool, maybe 2 Tuesdays or 3 Tuesdays ago, and she was telling me everything she learned. And she's not a stamper, but she was just watching to see what I'm up to because she hears about things that I talk about, and she thought it was so fun to listen to me talk about my car hurry and stuff. And so So she was telling me all these tips and things to use with the Take Your Pick tool. She's like, you need to use it more. Oh, I said, well, when you have nails, you don't necessarily need a tool, but when you don't have fingernails, that's where this tool comes in really handy. Okay, so we've used our glue scissors, we used our paper scissors, now we're gonna go back to using our ribbon scissors. And I remember I have some tape that goes out to the edge here a little bit, so I'm gonna try to get right up to here and cut that at a diagonal. And then I'm gonna cut this one at a diagonal going the same angle, just like that. Okay, you can throw your little trim things away here. And now, this last bit is pearls. So, we're doing so good so far, right? Pearls. I gave you guys strips of pearls. I have a mishmash of weirdness going on with my pearl ensemble here. But this is where the Take Your Pick tool comes in handy again. There's a putty end, and you can take and push your pearl off with the putty end and pick it up, and then it goes right to your page. And there's 3 different sizes of pearls, you guys. So in this case, I'm gonna use this big one, the medium one, and a small one, so that I get all 3 sizes on this card. And that's it. It's just a simple, beautiful, stunning card. You guys, you don't have to go overboard like I generally do with cards with lots and lots of layers and die cuts and embossing. You can make simple, pretty cards that don't require a lot of work that go into them. You guys, this was just stamping a couple things, stamping your inside, and then just having some layers and colors. Fun stuff. All right. Shannon, you're freezing too. I'm not sure what to tell you guys. I'm watching right along, and I'm seeing 48 of you guys are watching. How exciting. Hi, Elaine Reback. Okay, so one card is done. So let's put this away. The Take Your Pick tool. Holly loves it and uses it all the time. Yes, you guys, it's such a good tool to have. Okay, one done. Let's keep it moving. Keep her moving. Let's see, what do we want to do? We're going to save purple for last. We're going to work on this one next. Okay, let's get a little bit of stuff cleared away here. Let's go. So here's another thing, a tip or trick, you guys. Like, if you're not sure if you're ever going to make a card again and you think you might, I always write my measurements down on a little note card so that I have them, and I wrote what inks I use, if I use any different tools or anything. Like in here, I could write on here pearls, that I use pearls, so that if I go to look at this recipe card, I can pull everything I need if I want to remake that card. Oh, Denise said it's good on her end too. Okay, so this guy, this is also using mint. Hi, Sandy. I saw a mic come through. I'm happy that you put that it's Sandy. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. So, okay. This one is using mint macaron with Blushing Bride. Now, we used Flirty Flamingo ink, though, for the flower and mint for the stem. Because when we used the Blushing Bride ink with this, it was too light. So you don't always have to use, hi Michelle from Tasmania, woohoo. So that's what we'll have for the inside. So we need to get rid of this guy because we're done with him for the moment. Where did I put it? Right here. And we need to pull in, oh, that goes here. And then we need this guy. And we're gonna do another thank you card. So you guys could do congratulations, best wishes, you are lovely, I'm thinking of you, happy birthday, good luck, sorry, anything. So on this one, our base is the same. Hi Sharon, good evening to you as well. We have an 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So when it comes to that scoring, you guys, what you would do if you have a tool like this is you could lift this up, go to your 4 1/4, and you would use the scoring tool to score that. And that doesn't cut it. What it does is it puts that little divot in there so that it allows you to fold your paper in half very nicely. So paper has a grain to it. So like the grain goes one way. So when you cut your card bases this hot dog style, and you don't necessarily always need to score. But if you cut yourself a vertical card base that's 11 by 4 1/4, the grain is going not with the score line, and so it doesn't like to fold so good. So it's always good to score. I always score the mats for you guys when we do class. So then take your bone folder. So this is an extra tool, not necessary in stamping, but definitely a great tool to have. It helps you to make a nice crisp edge. Some people use their scissors. Some people use their glue. There's all different things you can use, but the bone folder's purpose is to burnish the edge. So in this kit, you guys that are stamping with me with the class, you have two pieces that are identical in your traditional mat. That's 4 by 5 1/4. So the white one is basic white. It'll go on your inside, and then the mint will go on the outside. You guys also have a strip here that's 3/8 inch by something. I cut it longer than what you need it so that you can trim it to what you want it to be. You also have in your kit some strips of designer paper. So when you're cutting with your designer paper, you end up with little scraps on the end. That's what this stuff is good to use for. So this is from the hand penned designer series paper. It's 3/4 inch by 4. You guys could pick different sides if you want, totally up to you. But I have a pink, the pink, and the mint, and that's gonna go onto there. These two mats here are for your flower, and they are, excuse me, 4 1/4 by, so 4 1/4 by 2 5/8, and this one is 4 by 2 7/16, and they should layer right on there. So another tip or trick I have for you guys. Oh, a clear block works if you don't have a bone folder. Good call, Sandy. Yep. So I've got like 4 of them right here. You could have used your your clear block. So another piece of advice I have for you guys is after you get your paper, or like kits for me, or if you're cutting your paper, I always just line them up to make sure that they look good before I put glue on it. And then I'm like, oh shoot, it's like not cut straight. So testing your paper before you stamp it or before you glue it is always a good tip or trick. So we're not gonna glue this. I always stamp before I glue, because if you stamp it bad, you could always flip it over and re-stamp it. So the only things that we need to stamp, oh, there's 3 things. So we're gonna stamp our inside, our outside, and our sentiment. So again, we're using the photopolymer stamps. So we're gonna grab the piercing mat. And in this case, we're gonna use Flirty Flamingo and Mint. Now, the Flirty looks like it is a little bit different of a pink, but we're gonna go for it because my blushing bride it was just really, really light. So yeah, Elaine, these colors are just so soft and delicate together. So we're gonna see what the Flirty is all about. So what we're gonna do is, these 2 stamps are meant for 2-step stamping. Hi, Bonnie Brown. So you've got a more solid image and then a more detailed image. And the more solid one is what I do first, and it's called second strength. And so I'm gonna flip this over, stamp off, and then I'm gonna stamp at second strength. Okay, so this is just copy paper. I'm practicing. You guys practice on your scrap paper, your copy paper, but that pink is gonna look really nice with that Flirty Flamingo at second strength. Now, this is what this will look like at first strength. Look, it's way dark, not good. So practicing on your copy paper to figure out what color you want will really help. So I see here, it's second strength. So I'm gonna do both of the flowers at second strength. And I'm gonna start off by doing the flower at the top, and then I'm gonna do the mint. And I'm gonna grab another scrap paper here. So I'm gonna stamp off, and then I'm gonna stamp at second strength right onto my white paper. Again, you guys, I don't know if you saw, I did once or twice. I really just, my ink pad is, you can see it's brand new. It really doesn't have much ink removed from it. So you don't have to squish or stamp very hard. So there's the first one. Now we're gonna do the second stamp, but this one is also stamped off. So because ink has different, so some people call them generations, but I call them strength. So that's first strength, and now this is second strength. You get different colors of the same ink. So one of the tips I did on a Tip Tuesday is when you're purchasing ink pads is maybe getting some darker ink pads, because then you can always stamp the second, third, and fourth strength to get it to be a little bit lighter. So there is the detailed one. So that's Flirty. Now mint is going to be the same concept. The mint macaron for our leaves is really going to be, this is dark. So when I stamp off, I'm going to try not to hit any pink, because you will pick up the pink in your stamp. So I'm just going to, this is just scrap paper, so I'm going to stamp off here, because look how dark that is. That would be super dark on there. So I'm going to do second strength, and I'm just going to line up my stem with my flower. And I got my second strength. So do you see how you could get one color flower and then a second color flower, all from the same ink pad, right? So that's first strength and second strength to get a softer look. So that's one thing that when you're first starting off and you're not sure what ink pads to buy, just know that when you start with darker ink pads, you can get different colors within the same ink pad just by stamping off. No, we're not done. I forgot we're going to do an inside. I didn't forget. I just temporarily, momentarily didn't think about it. So we're going to have to do the same thing. So we're going to do first strength. Oh, wait. We're doing a different one in here. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a minute. We're doing that flower. So same thing, though. We're going to stamp off. So Flirty Flamingo, stamp off. And that's going to go right about here. Perfect. And now we're going to do our mint. And move that there. Let's see if I've got enough room here. So the reason I'm not trying to hit the coral part, or the flirty part, is because it'll sometimes pick up that ink. So now move over here. And we stamped a little mint leaf action. Our sentiment's in mint, so let's go ahead and do that, as long as we got the mint open. And you guys, I don't have enough. Oh, we talked about this on Thursday night or Friday night, I can't remember, but I have a lot of blocks because I sometimes have multiple classes at the same time, and I hate having to keep stealing from one class's blocked stamps to another. So I have 3 classes in here that are set up with all my blocks, and I only grabbed 4 blocks for tonight because I'm like, I can make it happen. So we're going to put a thank you on this little strip is 3/8 inch. And we're just going to stamp that right in the middle. And now I didn't stamp off there. I thought that, oh, well, we can see what it looks like in second strength because I haven't stamped off. Oh, that's really too light. So my second strength is really light. My first strength is dark, but that's okay. It'll look nice on there because it's the same mint color. Okay. Both are cool, right? So yeah, so I just saw your comment, Denise, that you like both. I do too. I like the dark and the light, but if I was going with this darker flower, I would have gone with a Flirty Flamingo, I think, instead of the Blushing Bride, but we were going for a softer look. So we definitely liked the second strength stamping. Okay, I'm gonna clean the thank you, so that's good. Clean that little guy, and then we're gonna clean the leaf. I can't remember if we did or not. And I can't remember if we cleaned these, so we'll do that really quick. And this one. Okay, so that should be done and back in business. And I think that we're ready for assembly. The only other thing that you guys have in your kits, I made you little baby bozies, so you have those already. So we're gonna assemble. So first things first, we can, and I'm the type that if I know I need to glue a couple things, I'll prep a couple things. So it's just me and my way of being a little bit efficient. Instead of opening up this glue every time I have to glue something, I try to adhere or get 2 things prepped at once versus one at a time. And then you just have to be careful that you don't get your fingers in the glue or drop things. You know, if you're not good like that, then maybe only do one thing until you get comfortable with gluing a couple things. But this is again where you can get this on here and wiggle it around until you have it set. Okay, so that's done. And now we can glue our inside into the card. because that's ready to go. Hint for you if you do like to stamp your inside. So thank yous, I don't generally stamp anything on my inside unless I have a really cool thank you sentiment. I usually would write this full. I like writing love notes. And so for thank you cards, I leave it empty except for the focal image. If I was stamping a sentiment, you have 2 rules for, you can have more than, I have 2 guidelines, I guess. If you like to write, I stamp my sentiment higher. If you don't like to write anything, stamp your sentiment more in the middle, because then all you have to do is sign your name. That's, I guess, my suggestions for that. Okay, so back to this guy. So this is popped up with dimensionals. So we'll go ahead and place some dimensionals on the back. So that's ready to go. I usually put dimensionals every inch or so, inch and a half. So something like this is how I would put on the back of that. And then for our strips of DSP. So this is just going to be set up so it's in the middle. So I'm going to flip these over, and all I'm going to do is put a little line of glue down the middle of each of these. And I'm going to start with the one in the middle. What is the size of the card base? The card base is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So it makes it your traditional A2 card size. So it ends up being finished at 4 1/4 by 5.5. So I'm trying to just eyeball. You guys, I don't get out a ruler. I'm not one of those guys who likes to get a ruler out and measure everything. I'm more of an eyeballer. And I noticed here that, oh man, okay. I just noticed that I'm short here a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is take my glue scissors and be very careful, and I'm gonna cut it in the middle, and then I'm gonna split it apart because that gets covered up anyways. I just noticed that so when you cut a 12 by 12 down into a 4 and a 4 and a 4, if you don't cut that exactly at 4 inches, you're gonna be a hair short at the end. And so I think that might be, and I got my glue scissors, so I'm going to, and I know I've got a glue here. So knowing that that might happen with this one, I'm gonna split them already, because my main thing is I want to be flush on each side here. Whoa, trying to pick that up. You guys, I'm not sure what happens for your kits, but if you're putting down your designer paper and it doesn't come all the way to the end, that's what you need to do. And it's okay, because this is going to cover it up. Just don't cut it at the side. Cut it more in the middle, and that's going to cover it up. And no one will ever know that is there unless they take your card and dissect it. Okay? Yes, Feline says she leaves the insides blank so that she can use them for multiple things. Michelle said, what tip would you use for the cling mount rubber stamps not sticking to blocks? I never even use them, but I'm pulling them out wanting to use them and they're not clinging. Oh my gosh. Yes, dry fit before gluing, Feline. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that makes sense, right? And that's what I was talking about early on, and I never in my wildest dreams thought that DSP would be short. But Michelle, you asked about your cling stamps. What would you use to get them to stick? So we have something in the catalog that is called, it's with the adhesive stuff. Let's see if I marked adhesive on here. Embellishments, punches, cutting tools, adhesives. So this is what it's called. It is called Cling Adhesive. Page 167 of the annual catalog. Reach out to me if you don't have a demonstrator that you already work with, Michelle, and you need help getting anything from Stampin' Up. I can definitely be your girl. Easily convert your clear mount stamps to cling. So there are these sheets, number 9, and what they look like, I have some here. They're stickers, and you can cut them to the size you need. But what you do is you would put this on the top of your stamp, and then you peel off that, and it makes it so that they're clingy. You create your own cling stamps. If before they became cling stamps, they didn't have that, and they were supposed to just suction onto the blocks, and they didn't do that so good. So this is called Cling Adhesive, and so this is what you would want to use to make sure your blocks and your stamps stick together. The last thing you want to be doing is holding a stamp like this and it's full of ink and it drops off and it lands on your paper. I don't know about you, but I've had that happen to me one too many times, right? So the card base is 8.5 by 5.5. So 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Half of it. So Denise, it's scored in the middle. So if you have 8.5 here, half of 8.5 is 4.25. So it's scored at 4.25. Yep, you wrote it correctly on your message here. So, all right, you guys, dry fitting before you put glue on is a big tip here. Okay. Bonnie said, when I miscut something, I call it patchwork. Yep. Trying not to make it obvious that the patch was together. Yep, you got it. All right, you're very welcome, Michelle. And again, reach out to me if you don't have a demonstrator or if you're not a demonstrator and you need help getting that ordered. I would be more than happy to help. Then this will go on here like that. Again, I'm wiggling it until I get it exactly where I want it. You can MacGyver, maneuver it however you want. Okay, and then now you can pick off the dimensional backings. You're very welcome, Denise. And then I have it off center, so I don't have it in the center, but if you guys like the thought of putting it in the center, you can. But I put it off to the left a little bit so that it gave me a little bit of room for my sentiment to be sticking off the side here. Hi, Linda Hodge, coming late to the party, but better late than never. Thanks for joining. So now what I did is I'm going to take my paper snips and again just snip the end off like that. And then you can figure out, okay, it's going to go something like that. So I'm going to take, you could do this on the other side if you like. You could go up and down like vertically, but I'm going to see what it looks like to do that. And then I'm going to put my bow right there. So for putting this little sentiment on onto the card, I'm going to put a dimensional way over on the right hand side, and then I'm going to use liquid glue. So this is another trick. When you first start stamping, you think you have to use the same adhesive on that piece of paper, but I like to use multiple adhesives on the same piece. So I use liquid glue and a dimensional, and I'm going to put that so that the dimensional part is hanging over the edge, and then the liquid glue part is flush. So that makes it be just one layer here. Okay. Patchwork. Okay, just right there to do the little cover up. Yep. Thanks for sharing, Anne. Okay, so what do we have left? We have pearls and a bow. So you guys, when you get card kits from me, I will always make the bows unless it's a class where you get the ribbon as in your goodie bag, and then I don't do that. So, but I like to sometimes show you. I sell the bow makers in case anybody's looking for bow makers. So what I do is I cross them like this, and then one end goes up and over, and now I just knot them, and then where I'm knotting is the back. So, and now I go tighten it and go down and to the left and to the right with my tails, and then the front is on the other side here. So bow makers, I have a new source for my bow makers, and so I get them, and they're $7. They're a little bit bigger than that one, and they have like a finish on them, and now that little bow is going to go there. So another type of adhesive that I absolutely love are glue dots. They're snot dots. They look like little boogers, and what you do is you get it rolled up and put it right where you want it, and that's how I adhere ribbon to my cards. I do not ever use liquid glue to adhere anything fabric related or ribbon related. Thanks, Diane. We did good on these. Now grab your ribbon scissors and trim your tails however long or short you like them. Trimming the tails of the bows is generally one of the last things I do on a card, just in case then it doesn't get hit by anything and fray. And then we're back to pearls. So again, you guys have your pearls all in one of your card kits. Just grab them, and let's see, I'm going to try to find those big ones down here. Get some of those used up. Like I end up with all these like random sheets of pearls. All right, so we're going to put that guy there. Look at this, you guys. One little pearl all by itself. He's getting used up. And he's gonna go right there. Now, in the middle of the flower, we have a cluster of 3. So we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. And then when I put the pearls on, I like to press down on them just to make sure that adhesive sticks to the card, not that they accidentally fall off. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I got it all. All right. So we've got a second card done. So now we've got 2 easy cards, but pretty and fun. So you guys, this one is a great use of those scraps of the designer paper when you have some at the end. Good use of them. All right, thanks for sharing, Diane. All right, we got 1 more to go. Yay, I see lots of hearts. Oh my God, look at all the hearts. Oh my God, look at them. I love it. Thanks, guys. Okay, so last but not least is Purplicious. Woohoo! Now this one's a little bit different of a shape. Oh, Linda says she's continuing to learn. I love it. I love it. Learning is awesome. You never are too old to learn anything. You just have to be willing to listen, right? That's what it comes down to. Willing to see and listen. The name of the DSP, Shannon, is called Hand Penned, and it's from the annual catalog. This is what Diane and I used. So if you go to your papers, designer papers, DSP, it is this one right here. It's called Hand Penned. They're those soft, oh so pretty, delicate colors. So we used this pink one and we used this mint one, and then the next card we used that mint one again with the stripes. So that's called Hand Penned, Shannon. Okay, so this one opens the other way. So now we're gonna do it's called the hot dog style for a card base. So this one, when you cut your paper this way, this is like short and like taller. It's like a hamburger. And then this one's long and skinny. We call it a hot dog. Okay. So your base is a little different because part of it's actually going to be cut off for those of you that are stamping with me. Your base is actually, more hearts, I love it. It's actually 9.5 by 4.25. So 4.25 is your half of 8.5, and then this is 9.5, and it's scored at 5.5. So we have here at 5.5. So it's still gonna make it your traditional A2 card size. It's just there's a little bit cut off here. So grab your block or your bone folder. Oh, Mary, I'm so happy that you could benefit from me making the bow. So you guys, if you want to watch a Tip Tuesday that I did on bow makers, so I did a 20-minute video on the bow maker and different ways to make bows and when you have double-sided ribbon and how to make a double bow and a triple bow, just type in the magnifying glass bow maker. You guys should be able to find it. You guys, I put 14 inches of the Fresh Freesia ribbon in your kits. You'll also need the Fresh Freesia ink pad. And for this one, you'll be using the mint as well. And so let's get our razzleberry out of the way. And, all right, our mat on the inside is your regular 4 by 5.25. So that's what's gonna go on the inside. So you get this DSP is from the Hand Pen, and that's gonna go along the side here. Before I glue that, I would want to do any stamping that I need to do. Our Fresh Freesia mat is, you guys, I still see hearts coming through, I love it. Fresh Freesia is 4 by 3.75. So that's going to be your mat for on the front here. You have a piece of white that is it's 3.75 by 2.75. So that's going to go for here. You have another strip that's 3/8 by something. Everybody's might be a little bit different because I use scraps to cut. So you just have enough to stamp a sentiment and trim your ends. And voila, we're gonna stamp. So on our inside, I have that flower. So I think I might have put that away. So let's grab that out. The bow maker is amazing. I tell you guys, I would not make bows for you if I did not have the bow maker. I wouldn't even make bows for myself if I didn't have the bow maker. I would not make bows at all if I didn't have a bow maker. I mean, maybe once in a while I would use it, make bows, but yeah, not to the extent. You guys, if you've ever taken a class from me, I think you could agree that I think in a class I always make a bow. I'm pretty sure that I always have some sort of bow going on. So I like bows. I like bows a lot. Okay, so we're going to do another thank you card just because these are going to be thank you cards to somebody who wins them. And purple. So fresh freesia. We might have the same. Your bows aren't pretty. Shannon, are you using the bow maker? Well, that might be the problem. Sometime, and knowing how to use the bow maker is also, if you have a bow maker, Shannon, and you don't know how to make bows, watch my Tip Tuesday on the bow maker. Oh, I just put all those stamps away. Now we need them. Okay, so let's just see what the purple looks like. That looks pretty, but I think, oh yeah, let's go with that one. So for fresh freesia, we're gonna go with, oh, thank you, Lisa. So that's exactly what Diane and I were going for. Exactly what you just said. Simplicity, but elegant. That is exactly what we were going for with these cards. Oh, Diane, or Elaine, you're very welcome. I love making bows for you guys. It's actually, I like making bows. It's kind of fun. So I'm not stamping over on this side because my paper is there. So we're going to stamp on the left side. And I just realized I put all the other stamps away. So we're going to clean this one right away. And we're going to do our mint. Let's see how dark. Oh yeah, good, good. If you have any problems finding it, Shannon, just reach out to me. But if you just type bow maker in, you should be able to find the video, I'm guessing. So in this case, let's see if we're going to use the mint at dark. I don't think so. I think I'm going to do a second strength for this, just so it's a little bit softer. We're going to go right there. So we got the mint there. So that's our inside. And that little piece will get glued there. So let's get the stamps out here because now I've got this one done. You guys, I was so efficient. I get that from my mom. So putting things away before I'm done using them. That could be worse, right? Okay. So now the freesia. So let's, guys, I'm going through this scrap paper like crazy here because I'm such a little piece. So let's see how dark this looks like. So this is where it's always good to practice first. So you're going to go like that. And this one goes over the top. Let's see what it looks like. So I think I'm going to go with that because I honestly feel like if I did a second strength, it would be too light. So this is where it's good, you guys, if you're not sure if a second strength or a first strength will look better, do the second strength. And then what you can do is see what it looks like. And I really think that I think I'm going to go with the dark. It's going to pop a little bit more, whereas that one, I think it'll be a little too light. Okay, so got that figured out, right? So we're going to go at first strength. And we're going to go fresh freesia. And I'm going near the top here. And that's first strength. Now, I always do the more solid one first. Oh, Feline got her goodie box yesterday. The cookies were fantastic. You shared with your hubby. That's so sweet of you. So speaking of that, Feline, and I know Ellen might be watching or she might catch the replay. I owe you guys this. These are all the card kits that I'm going to do a live just for the Summer Creative Escape group to show you guys how to put your cards together. And now that you're getting your goodie boxes, you're going to want to know what to do. Okay, so there's our freesia. So then we're going to do our mint next. Now the mint might come down below a little bit. So we're just going to, oh, do I want to do it? I might do that one second strength. Oh, what do I want to do? We'll go for it so it's a little darker. It'll match the freesia a little bit better. So we're going to do that right like that. It'll just pop. The flower is going to pop a little bit more. So I find that my ink pads down here are all so new compared to my ones that I have upstairs where I design. And so it just goes to show you that just how different the contrast can be like, this one, the flower is gonna pop a lot more on the card. Okay, we're gonna use fresh freesia yet for the thank you as well. So that'll be here, like that. All right, so now we have our stamping done, guys. That's it. A little bit of stamping here. And we'll put our card together. And then look at what we did. Best purchase ever, right, Sandy? Oh my gosh, like the bow maker is a game changer. Okay. All right, so yeah, Felina, I just have to figure out when I'm gonna do that class. I thought I was gonna do it yesterday, and I left right away to go hang out. I hung out with friends yesterday, you guys. I have to do that every now and then, right? Okay, so what Feline said is to make sure your paper is long enough. So here it is long enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue it. Oh, Sandy got hers yesterday. Your box was, all your guys' boxes were like just filled to the gills full of stuff. I couldn't make, I'm so happy everything fit in those boxes. Okay, so this guy, I'm gonna adhere. I'm gonna make sure that the top is flush, my edge is flush, and then if there's any little bit that's hanging over the edge, I'm just gonna grab my paper scissors or my glue scissors. Not my ribbon scissors, so let's put that back. We're gonna grab paper. You guys are gonna just trim that little edge off if you've got a little bit of overhang. I'd rather have overhang than underhang. Good, so that's ready for gluing, and our purple is ready for gluing. So let's go ahead and put a little adhesive on those. I generally do the perimeter, and then I will do a little slash through the middle. Okay, so that's gonna go onto our mint piece here. I know, rightfully, my friend and I put the 14th on our calendar 3 weeks ago. I've probably seen her 4 times this year. And I messaged her yesterday at 9 a.m. I said, are we still on to do something today? And she said yes. So I was like, okay. And I had a baby shower, so I got like a lot of friend time in yesterday. It was really good. I was very fortunate. My afternoon class, all the people from the afternoon could move to the morning. And so it allowed me to go to a baby shower in the afternoon for one of my friends who's having a baby. No, Lisa, my classes are not every Sunday night. My tried and true night of the week is Thursday nights. I do Thursday nights at 6. I will do a random Friday night class, depending on if I need to, like squeeze something in somewhere. And then this Let's Just Stamp is a Sunday class once a month. And how do you sign up for them? Your easiest bet right here would be to email me or text me, call me. And honestly, this is what I do. You guys, this is my sign up. When you guys sign up for a class, I put your name on my class list, and then once you pay for it or place an order to get it for free, I mark how you paid for it or if you put an order in, and then I know you're on my list. And then what happens is I mail you card kits. And sometimes my card classes are fee-based, and sometimes they're fee-based or order-based. It just depends on the class. So what you want to do, what you can do, Lisa, is go to cardsbychrisb.com, and there's an events calendar there, and you can look at all my events, and it'll tell you within the event how you can pay for it and how you can sign up. And if you ever have questions, you just reach out to me, and once you learn the ropes, it's like second nature. So I try to make it as easy as possible for anybody to sign up for a class. So what I just did, you guys watched me do it. I put tear-in tape down the right side here because we're going to do the lamb technique. So Kelly coined this the lamb technique. I'm sure there could be a different terminology for it, but one thing that you need to do is you need to save a little bit of this ribbon for underneath your thank you. So let's do that before we go ahead and use all of it. So I'm just going to snip the ends of my, you're very welcome, Lisa. What you're going to do is just snip the ends. And then what you can do is snip a little bit of the ribbon off here and use your ribbon scissors and get that ready to go so that you don't use it all. So you just need a little bit. Now, if you stamped a longer sentiment, you're just gonna cut yourself a little bit more of that freesia ribbon. Okay, so now you should have a bunch of ribbon here. You will probably have more than what you need, but you start, so you tear and tape, double-sided tape, and you're just going to start it flush at the top here. And you're gonna weave it back and forth. You guys, we did this for Mystery Card Night in June, I think, or July. And I like to watch the front and then don't worry about the back. You don't wanna like have a big hump back here like that much. That just wastes ribbon. So what I do is you know, until it catches the tape, then you bring it back. And then the other thing is if you want more or less, like this one I kept it really tight and close to it, but you could make your Humpty Humps a little bit more, completely up to you. If you get to the end and you run out of ribbon, you're gonna have to reconfigure it. And so I'm just gonna keep working myself here back and forth. Now that one started to go a little bit different on me, so you can actually peel that off and you can go back and keep finagling it until you get it to do exactly what you want. So when you're looking to add ribbon to a card and you don't know exactly what to do and you don't want to make a bow because you're sick of making bows, this is just a great way to add a little bit of daintiness to the edge of your card. So cool. It doesn't work so good if it's a really thick ribbon. A delicate, like this is an organza-ish type ribbon, so it's very pliable. And again, what I did is I put the tear in. Okay, so that hump's a little bit big, so I'm gonna take it off and start over. And you wanna get your angling just right. Okay, so just do that. And you're gonna get down to the bottom and you're gonna wanna use one. Lamb technique, yep. So Kelly's last name is Lamb. So she called it the Lamb technique. So, and that's it, you get down and you have one left here. This is the most important thing though, guys. When you get down to the bottom, you know, you trim off your ribbon like that. I caught Kelly. She left a card, a beautiful card for me that she did for Technique Thursday. And I caught it like a few days later and the ribbon was starting to come undone. You can't just leave it like this. If you leave it like this, there's not enough security in this ribbon for it to just stay put. You do need to take your double-sided like tear and tape. You do need to put this right over the top of it and squish it down good, okay? That will secure it like nobody's business, right like that. And then what happens is I'm actually gonna leave that, so I have a little extra overhang of my tear and tape. So I'm gonna just nip that off of there. Okay, put that over there. Get off my finger. So I'm using this tear and tape just, so now you've got like your little sandwich. You've got your tear and tape sandwich, okay? You can't see that on the other side. That's gonna go here, adding a bunch of prettiness to our side. Now, if you wanted to glue this flat, you could. You'd peel this off and add more tape, but you're gonna have this bumbly area here. That bumbly area could be eliminated by popping it up with dimensionals. So you guys, you can use your ends of your dimensionals, and what you can do is add some dimensional, let's see here, glue. So we're gonna use, look, I'm using the sides of my dimensionals. They work too. So we're gonna do that, and then we might as well keep going and use this one right here. And then I got one last one right there. We're gonna put that there. So I'm not gonna peel this off. I'm just gonna leave it secure there. Well, you know, you could, what did I do over here? Oh yeah, look guys, I didn't adhere it. You can see there, I never took it off. But why not? Let's take that off. Let's pull that off of there. And then now it's kind of really secure. Whew, nice, we did it. Okay, sometimes I wouldn't peel that off. I guess it doesn't matter. That if you do peel it off, it will help just make it stick really securely to the paper. So let's go for it. Get these guys off of there. Look at me using the edges of my dimensionals. Okay, so this guy's gonna go centered top to bottom, kind of left to right, something like that. Nice, secure that. So far, so good. Isn't that so pretty? It just adds a little bit to it. Ruffly ribbon. It would look awesome with a scalloped edge. I definitely agree with that. Okay, what's next? Okay, this part right here. So we've got this little bit of ribbon that's going to go underneath. So not only did we add the ribbon on the side, we're definitely putting more ribbon on it. We just needed more. So let's see here. It goes like this. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of tear and tape. Look at me go, right? I love it, Shannon. Okay, so this is going to go here. That little bit of tear and tape. And then I'm going to put this over the top of my ribbon just so that's like that's satiny. So you can see that organdy ribbon, it was kind of more sheer, like see-through in the middle. So I've got the unsee-through stuff here. And then I'm going to put another piece of tear and tape right over the top of this. I did not pop this up dimensionals. You could if you wanted to. And then this little piece, take that off, and that's going to go right about there. And then pearls. Pearls, pearls, pearls. We have, you guys, if you have pearls left that we gave you from your kits, go ahead and use them. I was looking for the tool. And otherwise, I know I'm going to put 3 right in the middle here, like that. If you have extra ones, you could find a couple more spots to put some more random ones. You could put a couple up here and maybe one there, but you don't have to either. It's completely up to you. Can do whatever you want. Now, do you see the difference between these two cards? This is my ink pad at full strength upstairs, and this is my brand new ink pad, never really used before, and it still looks good. It's just a little bit darker, and you can see the difference between mint here and the mint is stamped off here. They all look good. Whoever gets the card's never gonna know the difference, that it could have been one way or the other way. So let's see what we got here, guys. We got our 3 cards done. Woohoo, look at that. Now, I don't know. Could you pick a favorite? I guess if you liked purple, you might pick the purple one. Or if you like pink, you might like pink. Or you might go with the raspberry. But all simple and elegant cards. Like, that's so awesome to make stunning cards that really don't require a lot of work. Like, think about this layout. It's just stamping something on a rectangle. Oh, this would be a good mystery card layout. I can't do it now. Maybe I'll wait 3 months. But like, all of these would be great mystery card layouts, guys, wouldn't they? Like, where they're just, yeah, just a little bit of ink, stamps, and paper. So something cool, right? I don't know. I like this one because I like seeing the DSP peeking out from the inside, and then that lamb technique is super cool. So Ethel likes the purple one the best. Oh, Holly said thank you. She loves the classes. Oh, I love inspiring youth. Linda loves the raspberry. Diane loves all 3. Well, Diane, you better love all 3. We made all 3 of these together. I love it. So speaking of which, we got to work on our Love of Leaves one for next month sometime. So yeah, I couldn't just pick one either. So very, very cool. Well, you guys, I tried hard not to I tried a lot to tell you little tips and tricks for beginner stampers throughout the whole card making session without going overboard and like inundating everybody with a lot of information. Just a reminder, if you're watching this, I did go more into detail on that Blossoms in Bloom Let's Just Stamp from last month. And if you want, just go watch that. You can always fast forward a little bit, or you can always replay anything, just like this one. You can always replay this as soon as we're done with it. So Elizabeth said all are perfect. I love it. Yay. So cool. Awesome. Well, you know what we're going to do? So we have 2 ladies that placed orders to get the class for free. And it was Brenda Wood and Barb Barkow. So instead of picking just one of you to win and making one of you excited and the other one like, oh, I'm just going to send prizes with both of your next packages that I have going out for card kits. Whenever that may be, I will throw in a little goodie, something or other gift for you guys. I had mentioned back in, I think, May or June that I have an abundance of extra products from past catalogs that my mom says it's time to start moving stuff out, girl. So I had said that I'm going to start giving away more prizes. So both of you guys will win a prize. Woo! Yay! So winner chicken dinners to both of you. So, oh yeah. So yes, and if you guys are ever interested in taking classes, just go out to my cardsbychrisby.com. Check out what's coming up. Oh, speaking of what's coming up, this is what I have coming up next, you guys. So Tip Tuesday will be on Tuesday, and then class on Thursday is this class. So I have Simply Elegant coming up. So we're going to be making these 4 cards come Thursday night. It's the Elegantly Said bundle. I have to figure out who the winner is. Oh my gosh, I just realized I am giving away to my VIP group. There is a Elegantly Said stamp set and then the punch. So this is going to go to a lucky winner. It's a half off bundle. Somebody can get it for half off. It's in my VIP group. I got to go back to that post and do the drawing. And we're going to make this card as well. And then here's one. So I have everybody who got signed up for this one already should have their kits in the mail to you. And then that one. So that's coming up. Do you do any classes online? Yes, Lisa, this is exactly what I'm doing right now. This is an online class, the one we just did. This one is an online class where you can get kits from me and then you can make the cards along with me. And then this one's coming up for the week after, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is my ink, paper, scissors online class. It is $25 for porch pickup or $30 mailed. It includes an entire roll of ribbon and a package of the Artistry Bloom sequins. And these are the 4 cards. This one's a fun fold and that one's a fun fold. And this one is coming up on August 25th. So you guys, I'm working. My mom is going to be kitting these up, helping me on Tuesday. She's going to be here working in the hive. All the paper's cut, everything's embossed, ready to go. I have 36 planned for, and I think I have 23 already paid for. So I do have open spots for this class if anybody would like to sign up for it. So very, very pretty card. So that's coming up August 25th. And so, yeah, I was really proactive on that. That's what I worked on Friday night. After the live, I got all the paper cut, and Anna and Pat already did the embossing and the die cutting, so my mom's all set. The stuff is ready for her to work on. Yay! So exciting. So these peach cards are so much fun. The colors are so awesome. If you have the peach set in the bundle, awesome. If you don't, you're going to improvise and use something that you have that could work, or you might get the peach set like Lynn is doing. She was going to get that today, so... Hi, Teeny Parker, and then I'll tell Mom you say hi. So Lisa wants to sign up. Okay, so Lisa, so how it works for signing up for classes, for this class, the peach class in particular, it's if you send me cash, so meaning a check or payment via Venmo, PayPal, friends and family, Facebook Pay, Zelle, you save $1. So you would just send me $30. If you go through my website to pay, if anybody goes through my website to pay, there's always that credit card processing fee that gets put on to the bill. So it's $31. But either way, you can sign up via my website, or if you reach out to me, like we can connect right after class and you can tell me what works best for you. So we are on Facebook together, so we can just instant message each other. So, okay, you guys, did you have fun? Was that fun? Oh my gosh, it was so good. So I enjoyed that. That was, the biggest thing is getting over the hurdle of the uncertainty with stamping. And I know some people could be stamping for 15 years and they just want to improve their stamping skills, and it's just talking through things and learning and watching somebody do it and then you doing it yourself. When you guys come to class and you come and sit right there, I have a foam mat. It's right there. You can see there's a foam mat right there. And it has paper on it. And it has grid paper. And that is for you guys to practice. I tell people so many times, practice on that paper. And when people leave and I have to clean up the paper afterwards, I'm always excited when I see stamping all over. That means that somebody practiced and they got it down pat before they went straight to their cardstock. It's easier to mess up a piece of copy paper than it is to stamp on your cardstock and then not be happy with it and then have to throw away cardstock versus printer paper that has been already, so everything that I have there is kind of it's like copy paper that is thin and like maybe a penny a sheet, so you don't care so much about that. So, okay. Oh, yeah, you guys. 25 years for Lisa. Wow, that's a long time. You've got me beat by just a little bit. I've been stamping since 2001, so I'm on 21 years or 20 years. So, yeah. Holly's for 8 years, and they're awesome. Always being able to learn new things is what it's all about. And you know what? There's so much to always learn. Even me, there's new stuff that they're coming out with that it's fun to learn about. So, Terry says... You meant to hit the love and not the mad emoji. I see it come through now. You know, Terry, I learned over the last month or two that that's what happens. I did it to somebody else. I did it to a different demonstrator while I was watching one of her lives. I don't even remember who it was anymore. You guys are going to laugh your butts off at me. Do you need to have the stamp set to do the card class? It just depends. If you don't have the stamp set, you would want to have something that is comparable or something that you could use that can replace it. Not everybody that gets card classes from me has the exact stamps that I use. You guys are more than welcome to use whatever stamps you have at home that that fit with the size that you need or like the theme of the card. So you guys, I literally was laying in bed. You guys, this is a funny story. I was laying in bed. Like, so my head's on the pillow and I'm laying, looking at Pinterest, and then I'm looking at somebody's Facebook, video. I fell asleep holding my phone, and as the phone started to fall out of my hand, it slid over and my thumb hit the frumpy dumpy face here, the mad face. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, I gave mad face to this person, and I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna think I hated it. And all of a sudden I tried to like fix it, like to take it off, and you can't take it off. And so when that happened to me, I just have it in my head that when everybody gives me an unhappy face, that they didn't mean to. Either they were falling asleep because I was boring, or they accidentally hit the frumpy face because their hand hit it wrong. And it is what it is. I'm like, at this point, I thought that people, if they gave me the unhappy face, that it was something I said that they were just unhappy about. And I'm like, no, everybody's happy. We're stamping together. Life is good, right? So, oh, that happened. I fell asleep and it almost hit me in the face. My phone almost hit me in the face and I caught it. You guys, I don't recommend having... laying in bed with your phone over the top of your face while you're falling asleep, because you will drop your phone and hit your face. So anyways, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So you guys, happy rest of your Sunday night to you. Lots of sunshine and love and hugs and happiness to you guys. And if you are in the local area and you want to do this class live with Diane on Tuesday, reach out to me right away. She's working on her kits now, and she has a small class, so it's only 2 people at this point. So if anybody else wants to join, she'd be loving to have you. And then I have full house for tomorrow and Wednesday for classes. So if anybody's looking for the classes that I'm doing this week as to-go kits, you just reach out to me as well. I'm here to helping you. We're here to help. So, all right, you guys, I hope I made you laugh with that story, because I felt so bad giving, I don't even remember who it was at this point. It was somebody that I kind of know, but not personally, but she, like, I've met her at like a Stampin' Up convention or something. And I'm like, oh, she's going to think I hated her. And it was not that at all. So anyways, we all do things like that every now and then. So, all right. Always room for more, Diane says. Okay. You guys have a good night. We'll see you later. Love you. Bye.